This is not a test. Don't expect to be impressed. Put on your life vest. Sit down your armrest. It's time to stray from the grind. Don't take my hand, 'cause you'll find no peace of mind. Side quest.
Hi there, and welcome to the Mimic Chest as an eerie wind blows through the English Midlands and America trembles in anticipation of the eclipse. These are weird times. Possibly the world has already ended before you've heard this, which would be the ultimate tragedy. Possibly it hasn't. Probably it hasn't. But if you are the last remaining human on Earth, this is the Mimic Chest is something authors and dragons do exclusively for a patron, except for when it's not exclusive at all. And basically what we do is mimic other better podcasts. And
worse podcasts.
Well, I like to be modest because I know I'm secretly better than them. But we're mimicking Cryptonauts, a podcast that concerns itself with cryptozoology and all the many weird and wonderful creatures therein.
And by the way, if you are listening to this in a post-apocalyptic world, these are normally meant for our paying patrons, in which case, fuck you, cheapskate.
Yeah, I don't care if currency doesn't exist anymore. You can give me some fucking finger bones or whatever we're using now.
Like pay your Coke cans.
If the world's still going, though, you can always join our Patreon at authorsanddragons.com.
In the post-apocalyptic world, only 5 cigarettes a month will get you access.
We also accept ramen packets because that shit is gold. And toilet paper. Toilet paper is the top tier.
And sperm from the few viable males who are left.
Yeah. Bevan,
I am
basically.
not having any more
take
babies.
Bevans.
Don't look at me.
We've also, if it is the apocalypse and it's a particularly strange one, then maybe this podcast will serve less as speculation and more as a survival guide to the weird creatures that surely inhabit your world now.
1,000 years from now, Authors and Dragons is worshipped as as the ones who ended the dark times.
They are the only ones who warned us about the six-dick monkey.
I feel horrible because I've been through this once because I was in India in 2012 and I was ahead, flying from India, and I told everyone as a joke that, the world's ending, I'm running ahead of it. Just wanted to say, that I love my family before I go. And someone was dumb enough to pause.
And after 6 towns cannibalized themselves, that was the last time Rachel ever made a joke.
Yep. I mean, to be fair, I once convinced my mom that, I don't know if you remember the old T8 Max commercials, the cassettes that had the heavy breathing. I told her that if you don't record on the cassettes, you hear that heavy breathing, and then I recorded one and snuck it into my mom. I was a
that's
slightly evil
terrifying.
child.
You are a bad child.
She exercised me. I think it's a very uneven scale still.
Obviously, it did not take.
I can joke about it now because I've had therapy.
We can joke about it now because we're just assholes.
Exactly. This is the family I deserve.
Speaking of deserving things, listener, get ready for a treat. We're going to dig up some weird and wonderful cryptids. I don't think I've heard of any of your guys' selections today. And you definitely haven't heard of mine. Mine's super fucking weird. So we will start. Rick, you're the crypto guy. Why don't you kick us off?
All right. So I picked a rather obscure but terrifying cryptid called the Jabba Fofi. And let me just read a little snippet here. The fullest account by Westerners appears in a cryptozoological book by George Ebhart. On page 2204, Ebhart relates the terrifying experience of an English couple traveling through the Congo. R.K. Lloyd and his wife were motoring in the Belgian Congo in 1938 when they saw a large object crossing the trail in front of them. At first, they thought it was a cat or monkey, but they soon realized that it was a spider nearly 3 feet wide.
Oh my god.
Okay,
sorry.
You have lost me at the 3-foot spider. Can I please curl back into my little hole?
I'm still trying to wonder how you look at something and say, "Oh wow, that's a really big cat." Oh no, it's a giant murder spider. Like,
I want to know
did
how
you leave your
confuse
glasses
a
at
cat and a
home?
monkey at this point.
Just like, look, an 8-legged cat. He's like, that'd be stupid. That's an 8-dick monkey.
Wait,
No,
is that
everyone knows it's a 6-dicked monkey, which is a completely different species.
You're right. It
Imagine
must be a spider.
the
That's how
horror
they came
of
to that
thinking,
conclusion.
I've discovered it, a 8-dicked monkey. Oh, it's just a giant spider.
I'd rather have the 8-dicked monkey. How about you?
Well,
It depends if it buys me a drink first. But
You
yeah,
waited until the
spell
drink
that.
was in my mouth, you asshole.
Spell that for me, Rick. I want to see this horror.
all right. So it's 2 words:
Yeah.
J''BA and then FOFI.
FOFI. That's coming straight up. Oh my god. Well, that does.
Well,
it looks like
it's
the Predator.
Congolese. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I don't know. I was just going to say something like racist. They put a lot of apostrophes and things. I don't know. I apologize.
Let's skip
They
If you're from the
racism
Congo and you're
go back to spiders.
if you're from the Congo and you're listening to this, just ignore me.
Yeah, if anyone from the Democratic Republic of Congo is listening, could you please correct our pronunciation? We would appreciate
That's fine.
it greatly. And
I
tell
don't think
us
it's
what your
racist
native
to
language
say that they speak a different language in the Congo. That seems reasonable. I'm gonna dish that out there if it is problematic, and that does.
I'm gonna get a call, be like, motherfucker, this is a 3-foot-long fucking spider, and I'm coming to kick your ass because you can't pronounce shit.
I find it fascinating that
The national language of the Congo is French.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Well, there you
fuck
go. They
them
always
then.
put in weird apostrophes and stuff.
Oh, but they also speak Kituba, which is also known as Kikongo, Lingala, Swahili, and Shiluba.
Well,
Look,
I'm here to just state, as far as I'm concerned, Jabba Fofi is French.
right, one of those languages is bound to be hilarious, and I don't think that's racist to say because it's probably French.
It's probably French. So, yeah. We need to get a Frenchman to correct us.
Oh no, let's not do that.
So in the jungles of the
love doing
Congo
that.
are giant French spiders.
Oh, sacre bleu!
So they don't shave under their 8 little arms? Is that what you're saying?
would you 8 arms? God, I get tired after 2.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I could make a comment, but I won't overshare right now because I am suffering.
You never know which one was the armpits, really, would you? There's a lot going on there. But yeah, I don't think this a cryptid because they have giant spiders.
But no, because it'd have to be a cryptid because of the law of oxygenation to exoskeleton. You can only be a certain size as a terrestrial crustacean because of oxygen exchange. That's why the big crabs have to live in the very deep ocean.
Yeah, except
Good.
except for coconut crabs, Rachel.
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
the coconut crabs, if you look at it, I think they're under 3 feet.
No, not really.
I'm gonna let. Oh, great! Now I have to look up the
Not-
size of
Oh my
coconut
God.
crab.
Yeah, go look it up.
But the
nerd.
coconut crab
that.
is the largest a terrestrial arthropod can be with the current levels of oxygenation. on
Okay,
the
but they're
planet.
still huge and horrible. And I know there's a bird-eating spider. It's the size of a dinner plate or something, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
not
that's
too
the
far
coconut
off.
crab. Or,
I mean, I'm already kind of like, I don't like that.
Oh, apparently,
Good.
coconut crabs taste like coconut and lobster.
Good,
So yeah,
the
people
name.
eat them.
good. Better them than us.
They can be as wide as 1 meter tip to tip and weigh up to
Fucking hell.
4.1 kilograms
Oh my
because
God.
metric rocks.
How big from tip to tip?
1 meter.
so 3 feet.
Oh, that's over 3 feet. Point
Yes.
to Rick.
So,
So now that we've established that 3
That
foot
they
spiders
are within
possible,
the arthropod size limit, then they wouldn't just be a cryptid, they would be just a big spider, which takes away some of their mystique.
no, I'm against
No.
that rule. We've discussed that before. I think if an animal is fucking horrible enough, we can call it a monster, and that's fine. I think that's a sensible thing to do as a species. We
You
should
mean
know
like
the difference.
the fish that goes up your penis and latches
Well-
in and is a parasite?
No, because that's just a parasite. Parasites are awful, but we should know the difference between a spider and holy god, some kind of awful monster. And I think that the difference
Shelob
between that is
Jr.
about 2.5 feet, maybe.
I find it fascinating that we in a typically Western white people kind of culture where monsters are werewolves, scary, and vampires, scary. And then you go over to Asia and Africa, and they go, no, let us tell you about real monsters. We got real monsters. 'Cause
This is why
they're-
I like
Whew.
living in England. Our idea of a cryptid is just a really big house cat. It's like, and that's kind of like, that'll keep us talking for days.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, if you're pretty much giving me a choice between wandering the woods and getting attacked by Sasquatch versus wandering into the jungle and getting beset upon by 3-foot murder spiders, I know which one I'm choosing.
Yes.
Oh
This is
God,
true.
never look up the biggest spiders in the world. But the biggest spider that ever existed was only half a meter in size, even
Only
in
half a meter. Oh,
only half a meter, 50 centimeters.
I'm
That
still
was
going to classify that.
Megarachne cervinae, if you were
Megarachne.
wondering.
Megarachne cervinae. Sounds like a really
And-
good Russian prostitute.
It is, but
And where
this is double a Russian prostitute.
where was this
Oh, oh.
spider when it's at
This-
home?
When it was at home, okay, it was in the Gazillion age near Argentina. Well, it wasn't Argentina, but it became Argentina when the land masses split.
But here's the thing: spiders
From
don't leave
Tangina.
bones, so pretty much we just have like mud impressions or rock impressions for fossils. So it's quite possible that that just could have been a small species that just happened to be stupid and sink into the mud, while all of its like much larger relatives were just wandering around going, "We're not going to be fossilized because fuck you, humanity."
We don't sink into the mud sinks into us. Yeah. I don't find this one hard to believe that there could be like some freakishly large species of spider. That sounds just awful enough to exist.
So does the Jabafufi, what was it?
Jabafufi or
Jabafu-
Fofi, whatever the fuck.
or I'm
Giant
sorry,
spider.
It's French, so Jabafufi.
That sounds less scary when
Oui,
this
oui,
is
Fofi.
big giant spider with a cigarette going bleh.
With his unshaved, fuzzy armpits and his general disdain for the English.
The
That's
bourgeois.
how you know it's French. Now, so what does it hunt? Does it hunt people or does it hunt?
I think whatever the
Wine.
fuck it wants.
Apparently, according to this, it hunted, pretty much what it wanted, but apparently it enjoyed preying on pygmies.
Oh no, the poor pygmies, they got a really fucking rough time.
Yeah, I know.
Oh
They do.
man, that's a good
You
dark
think maybe the
turn.
pygmies would be like, we're living in a place with spiders that are as big as us. Why don't we get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, they must have been. I don't know, maybe they just really liked where they were. Maybe they're just incredibly lazy. I don't
It
know.
also could be it was rent controlled. I mean, could you blame them?
And no HOA.
Oh
Maybe,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I would endure if it was a choice between giant French man-eating spiders and an HOA.
Yeah.
I'd say I can avoid the spiders mostly.
The occasional child gets carried off. You're like, yeah, circle of life.
At least I don't get fined for my lawn being an inch too tall.
And I don't have to get a job. You know, maybe it's not. Maybe they've got the right idea. I don't know.
I really hate that all of my children have been carried off by giant spiders, but I really love the fact that nobody complains about my garden gnomes.
They probably invented garden gnomes as sort of decoys for the spiders.
Sacrificial
Probably
gnome
where,
put out.
maybe that's where that comes from. I don't know. I'm not a historian.
Look, here are my children in the yard, unprotected.
They're English. Take them first.
That would explain garden gnomes. And when you think about it, nothing else explains garden gnomes. It's fucking insane when you think about
I
it.
thought garden gnomes were best explained by LSD.
Well, I suppose a lot of things are. All right, massive spiders in the jungle, but believably massive. I still think 3 feet is believably
Do they have
massive.
any special powers that brings them beyond just possibly
Yeah, they're fucking
unsustainable by the
terrifying.
oxygen of our
but
atmosphere?
It just says these are giant ground-dwelling spiders that eat birds, small game, tiny antelopes, and pygmies.
Oh, those poor pygmies.
So
You're right. There is,
So they're pretty much like oversized wolf spiders.
yeah,
Ugh.
wolf spider. That's
I
the one
got
that's known as the bird-eating spider, right?
Yeah. No,
There's
no,
all...
no, no.
No, the
That's
bird-eating
Oh, that's
spider's
the
a different
Goliath.
species.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
yeah.
the Goliath bigger one. I think they're
All right.
both in Australia though, aren't they?
No, we
Well,
have
they
wolf
can
spiders
stay
in the
there.
We have wolf
Yeah.
spiders in the U.S., but they're
Oh,
like
I'm thinking trapdoor spiders.
they're more like this
Oh my
size, not
God.
like more like this size.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
well, let's
like
just
yay
keep
big.
them where they belong.
Yeah, wolf-sized spiders.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we have much bigger spiders than you do, Steve. We have more
I'm glad.
poisonous or venomous
Excellent.
ones. But Australia puts us all to shame, so
Yeah, they're just...
Yeah, they get those huntsman spiders there.
Oh yeah, those are the creepy ones.
which
Spiders are
strangely
generally
enough their
awful.
bite doesn't affect cats and dogs, so like cats will play with them and like rip their legs off and treat them like toys because they're immune to the venom. But we can eat chocolate, so that's our trade-off as far as
Yeah,
nervous systems.
that is pretty
That's my
sweet when you think
fun
about it.
super venomous spider Australian thing. Because, I fall down the rabbit hole of watching Australian vets.
Oh, I don't ever want to watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah, watch an Australian vet one day and you'll be like, I am happy to live in this country. I don't care.
Yep, they can all stay in Australia or Cryptid Land, as I like to call it. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought that one up, Brett. I thought that was a nice, easy introduction into the world of horrifying bullshit. I think it's real. I don't think there's anything that contests that at all. Nor
Except for the fact that no specimens have ever been found,
Um,
despite the fact that we rapidly deforest the region.
Rachel,
No.
you do realize that the whole concept of a cryptid is no specimens have been found.
I know. I'm sorry, the skeptic came out, the little voice
yeah,
came
but
out.
we're
Sorry.
always finding new species of shit all
That
the
is true.
time, despite deforestation. So if somebody like finds one of these things, I'll say, that's not surprising, and it's not my problem, and I'm glad.
I mean, they did find a deer, like,
and
in the
honestly,
past 50 years.
yeah,
That was pretty cool.
in our like society, I mean, we always cheer when like a lion gets like takes down like poachers. Like we'd probably see this like this whole thing of like, hey, company that's deforesting was be set upon by 3-foot spiders, and that would probably be like a feel good story.
It would be until it'd be like there's some kind of volcano of these underground spiders that has been disturbed, and then they're just expanding
And then we end up in that,
like a
what was
storm
that
cloud
Bill
of
Shatner
horror.
movie where, like, they ended up covered in spider webs at the end? It was absolutely horrible.
Kingdom of Spiders.
Ah, yes, that one.
Ah, yes.
I
Well, we
haven't
don't want a
seen that
Kingdom
one.
of Spiders scenario, that's for sure.
No.
I don't think spiders can swim, so fuck you guys, I guess.
No, they can't. They can't swim. But some dipshit would put one in a suitcase and bring it over here,
Can
and it
spiders
would get
swim?
when it get loose.
I didn't
Not
know.
swim, but they can rest on the surface tension of water, so they
Not if
won't
they're 3 foot,
necessarily
I
Yeah,
sink.
not if they're
sink.
3 feet.
Oh, yeah, no, not a 3-foot spider. No, I'm speaking of actual spiders. Sorry.
And if they can go underwater, then they'd probably have to fight the coconut crabs anyway. And
Coconut crabs are terrestrial.
whoever wins, we lose, I suppose.
And all creatures, like they said, all arthropods eventually evolve to look like crabs. It's just one of those weird things of evolution, is that the longer a species goes, the closer it gets to the form of a crab, the more it
Why
evolves.
is the
Like,
crab the perfect form?
well, it's like all mammals start turning into weasels, and all arthropods turn into crabs when you go to
I know a
evolution.
few people that pretty much.
Yeah. Why is weasel the perfect form? What an odd
Weasel
choice.
is the most, I guess, efficient mammalian form,
Yeah, we do like efficiency.
evolutionary wise.
And you
It's
can
just
stuff a
convenient.
weasel just about anywhere.
And that's why it's the perfect form. Ah,
I'm really
All
glad
right.
Bevan's not here right now.
I know.
he's here in spirit. Okay, all right. That's awful. Let's get away from that one entirely. Misty, what have you got for us?
Oh, well, I went into my heritage. I am in South Carolina, and we have our very own cryptid in South Carolina. It is the lizard man of Lee County. Now Lee County's a little bit inland, and it has a swamp called the Scapor Swamp. And one night in 1988, so this is not a very old cryptid floating around, but one night in 1988, a kid was stopped on the side of the road because he was having to fix a tire. When he looked up and he saw a green wet like, I don't understand why we had to add the like to the end of wet, but whatever. Wet like, 7 foot tall creature with 3 fingers, red eyes, skin like a lizard, and scales like a snake. Um,
Why not scales like a lizard?
I,
Now,
I don't know.
Misty,
Yes.
was the royal family in town at the time? Because if so, I can put two theories
I
together here.
I am absolutely sure that the royal family drops in on freaking Lee County all the
Oh,
time.
damn it.
is
Okay, right,
is
carry on.
in Bishopville, South Carolina. So, but anyway, the kid saw this creature, and so he got in his car to drive away, and the creature leaped at his car, uh, was tearing at the outside at the paint job, and so the kid hit his brakes. The creature rolled off, and the kid hit the accelerator and got out of there again, and went home and called the sheriff. So basically, what we have is a lizard man who likes to come out of the swamp every now and then and kill teenagers' cars.
Just the cars.
You could have stopped at teenagers. I would have understood it more.
Give this thing a
Are
medal.
we sure this isn't a story being told to hide the fact that they just hit a pole?
I am absolutely sure that he was telling the truth. I would believe him 100%. The 17-year-old kid with a flat tire in the middle of Bishopville in the middle of the night. But no,
Uh,
actually, somebody a couple of years later also reported seeing a similar creature that caused damage to their vehicle. And
Hmm.
this was a married couple, a little bit older, not teenagers, but I don't know exactly how much older because CNN, and it got on CNN. And it was in 2008, and CNN did a story about it. So that's why I'm thinking that maybe the lizard man just likes to jump on cars and tear at the paint job.
Hmm. True. I mean, my first thought is maybe a drunk teenager rolled a car and looked for a very
Yeah, that's
outlandish excuse. And then maybe, several years later, somebody was doing some roadhead sort of thing and had a handy excuse already existing for why they scraped up the car.
wouldn't a handy excuse be for a road hand job?
Ha ha. Ha ha. I see what you've done there. A heady excuse then.
Thank you.
Now, South Carolina Emergency Management, of which I have spoken off camera,
Hmm.
posted a tweet in 2017 when we had the solar eclipse that year. We were in totality for the solar eclipse that year. They posted a tweet that Lee and Sumter County should remain vigilant because eclipses brought out the lizard man, which I'm thinking is going to mean that lizard man's going to make a show on Monday, April 8th, when we have, although we're not going to be in totality, we're going to be in just a partial, but I
Well,
don't know,
maybe
that
he'll
might be
peek like
enough.
a limb out and wave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Will,
put
will
on
you
Your
my
arm
look
just
for the
like
lizard
I
man
will
for
put
us?
on my glasses and look for the lizard man, even though I'm nowhere near swampy parts of the state. But
I thought North Carolina, or no, South Carolina was just a swamp. You're telling me there's non-swampy parts?
there are non-swampy parts. Oh, there's marshy parts down by the coast, and then there's swampy parts further inland, and then
We're not all
there's kind
swamp.
of
Some
this
of it's marsh, damn it.
this isn't a swamp, it's a
Between a
bog.
marsh and a swamp.
a marsh is salt
We got the
water, a
occasional
swamp is
bog.
fresh.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there are differences.
And
And
the
I
lizard
actually live
doesn't
in the
like
dry.
salt water. He never goes to the beach.
That's
Not
true.
that
You
I've
wouldn't get a
heard that I'm pretty sure he's a freshwater sort of
lizard
cryptid.
man. Yeah.
So
Oh, we got a creature from the Black Lagoon then, basically.
No, a
That-
lagoon with salt water, so this would be a
Oh, right. Okay. A
swamp.
creature
Yeah.
from the Black Swamp.
The
Then.
Black Bayou?
Was
A
the
bayou is brackish, isn't it?
was the creature?
Yes.
He probably wasn't a lizard then, if he was from saltwater.
No,
Lizards
he
don't
was
like salt water.
fish-like.
Yeah,
He was
a fish man.
fish-like. Fish man.
Yeah.
And then
And
in
fish
later
have
years,
the unique prospect that there are some that have the ability to exist both in saltwater and in freshwater.
Mhm.
This is more of a gator man, I guess. I mean, I'm just trying to think of animals that do actually live in the water.
Yeah,
In
the
America.
lizard guy is more gator-like, I would say.
Hmm.
So, except he walks on 2 feet.
Yeah, which
I mean,
is.
there are ocean lizards.
I mean,
There are.
alligators are probably one of the most terrifying creatures out there. But if I saw one walking around on 2 feet, no way I'm getting intimidated by that. That's just ridiculous. He may as well be twirling a little cane with a ball on his nose. So
You are
probably-
less intimidated by a bipedal crocodile.
Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
would not have lasted long in the Cretaceous, like as he's standing there laughing at all the Tyrannosaurus.
You fucking idiot.
Although they're technically related to birds more than
I'm not
reptiles.
talking about like a crocodile with big thick legs. I'm just thinking like an alligator just stands on those little stubby legs it has. It looks stupid. You wouldn't be scared of that. So I'm
I
thinking
don't know,
maybe
the
not an
ancient
alligator.
Egyptians had what, Amit? She was pretty scary.
She
And
was.
that was a crocodile on two legs.
Maybe this is what it is. Maybe this is like swamp hillbillies. They propped up an alligator like with a stick and then just threw it at a car.
Somebody could have just threw an alligator at a car. You say,
That
why
would
would
work.
someone do that, Steve? I don't have to answer that question. People just do shit.
Yeah.
Well, if the kid was driving back in '88, what every 17-year-old was driving, which was an ugly ass Camaro, I would throw sticks at it too. So,
Not a Thunderbird.
no, probably not a Thunderbird, probably a Camaro or what was the other one? There was an IROC, the IROC Z.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Either
that was
way.
what all the boys in my high school were driving back in the '80s. So.
A good reason to throw an alligator at it.
I apologize. I have my own cryptid trying to muscle into the podcast. It is a giant cat, which
Yeah.
fits because of what I picked for mine.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that a lot of like swamp monsters can be like explained away as bored swamp hillbillies. And,
Does
and
this
copious
lizard man
amounts
have
of
any
wood
powers?
alcohol.
Other than just jumping on cars, like was anything else reported?
We
No,
were the
no.
real swamp monsters all along.
Yeah, nobody has ever reported being injured by it. It was only just property damage. Although investigators have actually come out and interviewed the people that have reported seeing this thing, and one investigator has suggested that what the kids saw that night was actually a local butterbean farmer, Lucius Elmore, who was guarding his shed the night after recent thefts. He claimed he heard a car tire blow out, and thinking it was thieves, because thieves are all the time blowing car tires in the swamp, he walked out to the road to confront them. Elmore said that when the kids saw him, he screamed and took off. So
Was
I'm
the
what-
guy wearing like a snakeskin jacket?
Was he
if
just
that was
exceptionally ugly?
see, I would love to know what Lucius Elmore looks like.
Lucius Elmore, like pull up a picture. He just looks like a slee stack. Mystery solved.
Yeah. He looks like a slee stack, and he's walking through mud, so he's moving really slow.
Okay, I'm trying to
But,
find it. For some reason, this is all pictures of women. I don't
Get
know
off
what's going
my
on. here.
land! Stop stealing my crops!
I'm protecting my butter beans.
Still just trying to get over. Yes, the scripted was actually a butterbean farmer. What the twist was is he actually is a were crocodile, and thus we have circled back around to lycanthropes. Shapeshifter.
That's true. I would have think that if a lizard man was hanging around
Why
road
would a lizard man
areas,
be a butterbean farmer?
well, why would a man be
the
a
fuck's a
butterbean
butterbean?
farmer?
You don't know what a butterbean is? It's kind of like a lima bean.
bean.
Yeah, but it's a little softer and a little more yellowish, and it's delicious. We make succotash
Yeah,
out of
they are
it.
good.
Succotash
you know what
a
a
thing. I
lima
thought that's
bean
just
is?
what the cat said.
No, it's an actual dish.
All right.
Succotash involves like corn, tomatoes, and either lima or butter beans.
I don't
Oh,
know.
well,
It
you've
sounds like
ruined
something a
that for
slee
me.
stack would eat.
I love lima beans. But
See,
I don't
our
know.
podcast is incredibly educational, just not about cryptids.
Hmm. Yeah, I can't think of any working theory for a bipedal lizard man. that
Unless
might
it's
tie it
just,
to.
what if it was like a really angry furry who happened to be a butterbean farmer and just attacked?
Well,
Yeah,
the-
just
the-
ahead of the curve.
Do people who dress up as like reptiles and stuff, are they furries or are they scaly?
They dress up as reptiles. Do reptiles have fur? Of course they're not furries.
Well,
Uh,
do
I
furries allow people who dress up as reptiles to
I have a
join them? Does
feeling
anyone
that
know?
there is a secret war going on, a deeply greasy, sexually charged secret war going on right now about this very subject. You know what? I want no part of it,
Between the furries and the Lizzies.
Elizabeth. They just want
Aliens.
acceptance.
The furries and
We're
the
all part of the
scalies.
furry community, and they're like, you haven't got any fur. It's undignified.
Yeah, are there furries who don't have fur?
Yeah, there are.
Okay. So are they
I-
still furries?
Would
Yeah,
they be called
because they're
manges?
wearing costumes.
Yes, I get the fact that they do not actually
It's
have
not
fur.
actually fur.
Like,
I hate
could
to
you dress
burst your
up as a
bubble,
shark
actually.
and join a furry?
Yeah, I
What do
think
they
you can.
have? A
You can.
furgy?
No,
You can be
I'm
any
sorry. If you
animal.
don't have fur, you are not a furry.
Oh, gatekeeping the furry community.
You're
This is
gay-
why.
Okay,
This is
so
why
if
there's
any
a war.
furries are
Gatekeeping.
listening, could you please add to
want
the
to
comments
know.
and educate us? We genuinely want
Yeah.
to know. At least
Yeah, if
I
you're
do.
dressed up as a fish person, you're a fishy. You're not a furry.
You're a fishy. Get back in the
So,
ocean,
so
fishy.
would they be a scaly? Because fish have scales too. Like, can fish and reptile identifying people, like, do
Yeah,
they get a party?
they can fuck, no problem.
Yeah, it's fine.
Do they
Rick's
have
laid-
to have
Rick's laid down the
claspers and
law.
cloacas? Like, do they have to
Yeah,
emulate
whatever they
that?
can,
Or-
whatever they can
Why
sew
am I
into their
going
costume.
down this rabbit hole? Someone stop me, please.
It's okay. I'm sitting here
Bring
with
back the
what
spiders, the French spiders.
I'm sitting here with "What Does the Fox Say" playing in my head now. So
Yeah, and
And
you
I
know,
will
and just for
not
the
look
record,
this
if you
up
have
on
if
the
you have
internet.
feathers, that does not count either. You're well, I guess a
But
birdie.
if birds came from dinosaurs, do they get to go with the scalies? But since feathers are kind of fluffy, do they get to go with the furries? Like, where do they fit
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this?
you know something? I am okay with segregating my my furries, my fishies, my scalies, and
Yeah.
my my birdies.
There's a taxonomy there.
Is there? Like, I do not want to Google this shit. Will somebody just tell me? I'll probably believe whatever you say.
Morgan Freeman voice. Of course, Rachel Googled this shit.
All right, I feel like we should abandon the lizard man topic now. I think this is a good place to step off of that.
yes,
Okay.
please God.
Rachel, what have you got?
Well, if you can't tell by the actual furred creature who keeps trying to nuzzle into the podcast, I need to move because he's moving my camera. I brought in one that actually ties back to my own family. I have brought in the Wumpus cat for your consideration, which is a Cherokee Nation / Appalachian cryptid legend. Would you like me to read the legend?
Please read the legend, Auntie Rachel.
Okay. It is described as a fearsome hybrid of a mountain lion and a woman. Believers say the Wampus cat roams the wilderness, emitting eerie sounds that strike terror into the hearts of those who cross its path.
So a cat lady.
It is like it's a cat with
We're
a
back to
lady's
furries.
Oh God! I did not pick this thinking it was going to go back to furries. Okay. Oh my God! It involves a booger mask. I don't know what a booger mask is, but okay. Let me continue this tale as I move my cat again. Cherokee folklore offers a few perspectives on the Wampus cat. One legend tells of Running Deer, a Cherokee woman who wanted to take down the evil spirit Ewa, known as the spirit of madness. Running Deer wanted revenge, for she believed the spirit was responsible for driving her husband, Standing Bear, to madness. Equipped with a booger mask and the spirit of a mountain cat, she surprised and defeated the spirit, becoming the tribe's spirit talker and home protector. Some believe that Running Deer's spirit resides within the Wampus cat, guarding the Cherokee lands against dark forces hidden in the depths of Tennessee. Not Tennessee, Tennessee, just to clarify, which of course we're also talking about. Tennessee is the region. It was also, they said it could be a woman who witnessed a ceremony she couldn't while hiding under the pelt of a mountain lion, and then she was punished by a medicine man, transforming her into a fearsome feline entity, the Wampus cat. Notice the difference between the Cherokee legend and the legend of the white man, if you would, please.
I'm thinking when Steve told us about this mimic chest, Rachel read it wrong. She didn't read Cryptonaut so much as Fetish Knot.
That is not. I picked this because to say rising fawn, not to be confused with running deer, but it's the descended from the Cherokee of East Tennessee. So I thought it would be
Wait a
nice to
minute.
bring something from my family.
Are we saying that I missed a little bit of that because I was trying to fix a problem on my computer? Are you saying that furries come from Native
am-
American legend?
No, this is not furries coming from Native American. This is a Native American. Now, if they're appropriated by furries, I don't know. I can't comment. I don't know if a Native American furry wants to identify.
I
as
just
this.
want to know who to blame.
Rachel's getting 23andMe done, and it's like congratulations, you have furry blood.
But no, there have been multiple sightings across Tennessee, North Carolina, and Appalachia, and it's usually of a cat with a sort of flat face that sort of blends into a woman that shrieks and makes a sound that like terrifies you down to your bones.
So Rachel,
And-
Rachel, being part of the family, I must know, what does the Wampus cat say?
There, I did the
That
pod
is
person
terrifying.
scream for you.
Okay.
My cat is staring at me like, that is not what you're supposed to say. I feel like I was grammatically incorrect in my
You
cat
just said
language. Look at
something
this.
racist to your cat.
Yeah.
in cat language.
I mean, look at this. I have actually, my cat has been summoned out of, like, see, we have a Wampus cat. A woman and a cat have entered the screen together. This is not a furry thing. This is a terrifying cryptid attacking her.
All right.
Like, what
Well, I
did you
think
just
we.
say about my mother, you bitch?
I feel like I did. I made that noise, and I feel like I have insulted poor Griff's mother. See?
I think we've just solved the legend of this cryptid. What you
Wampus
just
cat is
demonstrated. So it could have just been a woman holding a cat.
Yes. But it's one of those interesting legends because if you look from one side of the story, it's like a protector and a fierce warrior, and the other, it's a cursed woman. Go figure.
I love the idea of just some crazy old lady living in like the woods, and if anybody comes into her land, she just wanders out holding a cat in front of her and screeching at them.
Screaming.
That actually is something you would probably see down the road from me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who also say it's just a witch and probably want to burn her. But in 1918, a wampus was reportedly roaming the big ridge in the vicinity of Gethsemane.
Gethsemane.
So yeah, apparently they blame a lot of livestock deaths and find ways to persecute women who are a little bit different by saying it's a wampus cat.
Well, you got to keep him in line, Rachel.
Oh, my cows died of bovine flu. Let's burn some women.
It's our fault. It's always our fault.
It's either that or accept that some things are out of your control, and no one
And
wants to do that.
conveniently, it can shapeshift to become invisible. So anytime anyone gets close, it disappears.
Well, that's convenient.
Perfect.
That is
Yeah.
convenient, but
But
also
they are
quite
also
cat-like.
like the Wampus cat is also like the mascot of a North Carolina small university basketball team.
That's it. So you go into the woods.
That's
This
cool.
crazy witch comes out there holding a cat, screeching at you. Then she turns invisible, and that's when like 3 dots appear in your forehead, and that's it.
I do wonder though if the movie Prey was actually pulling some from this legend.
Maybe.
Might be.
Who knows?
Yeah, but I thought it was pretty cool, a little bit different, a little more mystical. But yeah, a lot of women have been blamed for Wampus cat activity.
Well,
We're blamed for every damn thing.
Yeah,
so.
I guess if there was a mumpus cat, then they'd probably blame men for that. But this is a wampus cat, so like
I did though
taxonomically.
confirm the word kitty wampus does not come from a wampus cat. Kitty wampus comes from a European line of etymology. I just thought it was funny that
Is kitty wampus a word? Is
yes,
that a
kitty
thing?
wampus is a word.
Cattywampus, yeah.
yeah.
It means crooked or
Askew.
kitty. Yeah, askew.
Not
yeah.
quite matching. Usually it's like my tie is all kitty wampus.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I've never heard that either.
Till just now.
It is a very southeastern United States colloquialism.
Oh.
And unless my editor is from the American South, they constantly go, "What the hell is this word?"
Yeah.
That is not a real word. It is a real word.
Wow.
And you really do say it cat like catty, not not like CAT and not like CIT, but somewhere in between.
Kittywampus.
Cattywampus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we should just get back to obviously the whole origin of this legend is say, hey baby, you want to go out with me? No, you're not my type. You're a fucking wampus cat.
Yes, I would like to know, next time anyone asks me out, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'm a wampus cat. I'm just gonna rip your face off.
Rachel,
Insert high-pitched scream.
did you mention that they have 6 legs?
That
In
seems
some
important.
legends, they have 6 legs. They're kind of
Okay.
like a human cat, like a cat tar.
Wouldn't that make them
I'm
more like
looking at a
cockroach women?
picture.
You know what also looks like it might have 6 legs? A woman holding a cat.
It might indeed be a woman holding a cat.
Ooh, I'm the wampus cat.
Especially if it's poor Griff. You realize that my cat is now we have apparently offended my cat on
They're
an
just-
ancestral level.
There was just some highly strung woman holding a cat, and some guy saw
And
it and went,
shrieking.
holy shit, I'm bored and need an excuse to oppress women. Wampus cat.
Well, consider the location. It might have been bored, or might have been I'm high as holy shit. I'm high as balls.
Yeah,
That is also possible.
so I'm
But
constantly feverish from whatever bullshit I'm ingesting.
they have been used in Dungeons and Dragons as a monster,
Yeah.
too.
Oh, and apparently there's a baseball team that uses them as their mascot about 30 minutes from where I live.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
very big in like North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee. That's the
So somebody
The
has to
Wampus
dress
cat
up as
region.
that, right? Or draw a picture
Cool.
of it.
Where their
Not
mascot is just
a
a crazy
furry.
old lady holding a cat.
It's just an old lady with a cat comes out. And somebody runs along and sets fire to her.
This is what I've done. It just keeps coming back to furries.
Again, this is like, I can find an angle on this where it makes sense in reality. Misty's one, no. I cannot do the
I
two-legged
mean, there are
lizard
some
man.
like logic that it may have been indeed a warrior woman wearing the pelt of a mountain lion attacking,
Yeah.
So a furry.
and some peyote being involved
The
or other
original
sort
furry,
of hallucinogenic substance.
Plus, it's
but-
just a high as shit woman wearing a cat fur.
or
yeah.
high people watching the woman.
I don't know. If that woman's high enough and she's wearing a cat fur, that's going to come off as a little bit monstery.
Yeah.
That's a reasonable reaction.
Or maybe there are cat women in the Appalachians who just are sick of your shit.
What, me specifically?
No, not you specifically.
Some old crazy old cat lady in the swamp.
This is very fucking personal.
Steve
I
Weatherell.
can't say anything. I'm like the descendant of the people who never found a British accent they didn't change allegiances for and sell out their country.
Rachel, 6% furry.
It's just the one person sitting into the wilderness who's somehow listening to Orphans and Dragons going, that motherfucker. All right,
Sorry,
okay.
I'm the descendant of colonialism. I can't help my existence.
Yeah, and also we have internet, so ain't that bad. But yeah, okay, so I think I can explain the Wampus woman. Or the Wampus, not a Wampus woman. That's just
The
a woman.
Wampus
though.
cat.
It's a Wampus cat. A Wampus woman would just be a woman, right?
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
I don't know what wampus means on its own.
Okay, I'm going to have to Google that because it feels like it should be an actual proper word.
It probably means
Wampus.
woman.
No, I'm just getting Wampus cat. Well, that's bizarre, really. What does Wampus mean then?
A
Hang on.
strange, objectionable, or monstrous person.
Ah.
The etymology is mongrel.
So we can get a Wampus anything then, really.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
useful thing.
And
to
kitty
know.
wampus means disorganized, poorly done, or chaotic, which is pretty much me.
A Wampus kitty.
Yes.
Well, that's good. We've improved our vocabulary.
It is a real word. I will happily use it in a sentence anytime I'm required.
Wampus.
The cattywampus's etymology says it may be from the Scottish slang term wampish, which means to wriggle or twist about, which I'm sure an old woman holding a cat out like this is dealing
Yeah.
with some wriggling and twisting. So.
Especially
As
if you're
my
trying to set
Cherokee
fire to it.
ancestors go, excuse me? Look,
Speaking
we're
of
not Scottish people.
Scottish wiggly things, Steve, what do you
It
got?
is weird though how the same words can evolve from completely different sources.
Yep.
All
But
right,
yes.
I've got one for you that is also local. Now, there's some argument of over whether this is a cryptid, although I should say I'm reading from the cryptid wiki right now. It's the Sandown Clown, or Sam, the Sandown Ghost Clown.
Ooh.
Okay, now I'm nervous.
Okay.
This is
So we've had spiders, furries, and clowns now.
yeah, just
What's
to
left
round
on the
off the
wheel of
nightmare.
phobia?
Just to round off the fetishes. Yeah, so basically, two kids were hanging around in the Isle of Wight by the beach in the 70s, which is a dangerous time for children to be alone in Britain. But they heard a
Yes.
sound like an
But were there any
ambulance siren.
television presenters around?
Well, I don't know. We'll get onto the theories soon. So they heard this ambulance siren-like sound, and they wandered over a footbridge, over a stream, and met what is described as an unidentifiable being, described as a cross between a clown, a robot, and an alien. And apparently it was shy but friendly and spoke to the children for about half an hour before they returned to their parents. So it wasn't horrible. It was less threatening than a children's TV presenter in the 70s.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was gonna say 70s Isle of Wight.
Apparently, it stood over 2 meters in height. It had more or less normal human proportions, except for...
For a basketball player.
Well, it was just like it looked like a tall human except for the
Okay.
head, which was described as being way too large for its body and like perfectly spherical. Had very white skin, and it's it's in England. And its face seemed to be painted into the surface of its head with like two triangle eyes and a flat brown rectangle for a nose and like a yellow circle for a mouth.
Like maybe an alien imitating Ronald McDonald?
That's the thing. There's some of it that says like this clearly. Some of the recollections seem to hint that this was a mask, but there was something odd under the mask because it had it's like apparently its mouth didn't move at all when it spoke or ate. It had hair beneath a hat and two wooden antennae stuck from the side of its head.
Are we sure this wasn't just someone dressed up as a clown?
Well, yeah, well, we'll get onto the theory. It wore gloves, but its feet were bare, and it had 3 fingers and 3 toe appendages.
It was Nightcrawler.
Yeah, it had the Nightcrawler
whiteface.
set up. And also,
I'm sure it was not a sexual predator trying to hide from any cameras that might be around.
well, we'll get onto theories in a minute. It was also carrying a microphone and a tannoy system, and it spoke through that. So basically, it had a kind of like portable karaoke machine. Yeah, but apparently it was friendly. The children weren't hurt or went missing or anything.
Okay.
It said it was shy but friendly, and it told the children it was frightened of humans and it would not defend itself if attacked. And it drank water from the stream after cleaning it and gathered wild berries. And it says it specifies here, which it ate in a very odd manner by thrusting its head forward and somehow moving the berries back and forth between its eyes and then down into its mouth. Anyway, it told the kids that its name was Sam, and it was all colours. And when asked when it was a human, it said it was not. When asked when it was a ghost, it's reported to have answered, well, not really, but I am in an odd sort of way. And all other questions about it were answered solely with, you know. Anyway, the British UFO Research Association recorded the details about this, and the kids were insistent that this encounter really happened for the remainder of their lives. Which did carry on because they were not abducted and nothing horrible happened to them. So this is fine.
Wait, for the remainder of their lives. I mean, if they were kids in the 70s, did something like horrific happen to them recently? They should still be living.
Still be alive. They could still be. Well, they'd be
I mean, my husband was on the Isle of Wight. I don't know if it was in the 70s or the 80s.
I think they were like 10 and 12 when this happened in 1973. So they might have just died of natural cigarette-related causes.
I don't No, they say it wasn't threatening, but it's like anybody who starts like when I start asking questions of like if the answer is I'm gonna get a little freaked out there.
Well, I think anyone back then who was talking to children alone for half an hour is vaguely threatening. Call me a
Yeah,
mollycoddling
starts
parent
that up,
from
and I'm
the...
going, oh gosh, look at the time. Bye.
I don't know. I'm
My
trying to
mom's
imagine kids
calling.
who like if something's like, oh, I'm not threatening. If like if people attack me, I won't defend myself. Like most kids would probably be like, get them.
What kind of kids did you hang around?
Just get the plates out. He won't defend himself. What a fucking idiot. But, if I was just hanging out, like it's the 70s, nobody's got smartphones, I think I'm just going to wear my clown costume, go hang out near the beach and get really
But
fucking
how would you
high.
eat berries with your eyes?
Because I'm really fucking high. And, if I decided to do that, the two kids would come along, I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? A, where are their parents? This is awkward. But B, like, they'd be like, are you a ghost? I'd be like, yeah, kinda. Guess maybe. A little
Wait,
bit.
where were you in the 70s?
Well, I was
You in the Isle of
I
Wight?
was yet to be conceived. But then again, he could have been a time traveler, so it could still be me.
It could. It could. And I'm guessing he just put that the eyes maybe sat back a little from the mask, and so he dropped it in because the mouth wasn't open, and so he dropped it in and then shook it around until they fell out to where he
He's
could.
probably down in LSD cubes and like, yeah, these are berries, man. I'm a ghost.
He forgot he was wearing a
Kids.
massive papier-mâché head that he made that day to go out into the
he
woods and
forgot
get
to put
high.
a mouth hole, so he had to drop
Right.
it in the eyes to get the jujubes into
I mean, weed was
Or
still
jelly
illegal
babies.
back then, so maybe what he did is he made this papier-mâché head so he could smoke a joint and get the blowback and just sit there getting super high.
He's his
in
own
peace.
hot box.
It's just hotboxing himself in peace in his own little glade. The two kids come along and he's like, oh shit. And they're like, oh wow, an
Could be
alien.
an
It's
alien or
like, yeah, that's
something.
right, but I'm a friendly alien. And I will not defend myself if attacked.
And what about the three fingers?
Oh, good point.
It was a
Well, he's
lumberjack.
just holding a
Wait,
joint
wait,
like
he-
this in
He
my
also
hand.
had 3 fingers. My
Apparently
lizard
three
man
fingers,
had
3
3
toes.
fingers.
Hmm.
What if it's the lizard man on holiday wearing a mask to look more human?
He's terrible at making masks because he's a lizard man. Maybe. And at least, but this guy was a pacifist, and the other lizard man was definitely
But
attacking
the lizard
cars.
only attacked cars.
Yeah,
never
and the kids
attacked
were not
people.
driving a car.
That's
Yeah.
true. They drove a car down there. Would have been a very
I
different
think we've
story.
solved it.
I'll get
I
you
think
little
we
fucks.
Anyway, the cryptid wiki gives several possible explanations.
Ooh, let's hear them and debunk them.
A fairy, ghost, or other type of paranormal or supernatural creature. A robot. An extraterrestrial. A piece of the child's imagination. A shared
That one seems very
hallucination.
likely.
Or folie à deux, apparently, is a thing.
Yeah.
The French spiders have a word for it.
What do the French spiders call it?
A folie à deux.
A folie à deux means a shared hallucination, apparently. A folie à deux. But, yeah, right at the top of it is a human wearing a costume. So way above, like, maybe these kids just made some shit up and just carried it with them for the rest of their lives for reasons we can't understand, is maybe there was a guy out there who was just wearing a costume and wanted to be left alone.
It was actually just the prop maker from Doctor Who practicing, going, shit.
The
Right.
kids were so enamored of his like 3 fingers and his weird head that they didn't realize the boner, like the raging boner beneath his clown costume.
Yeah, they don't have on this at all sex offender, which would have been absolutely my first curse in
Right.
1970s England.
But I've worked in a middle school for a long time, and I will tell you that if kids make up a story that if they commit to a story to get one over on adults, they will stay committed to that story until the end of the known universe. So I can believe that these kids, if they made it up, would
Yeah.
not vary
The
from
thing
it.
is,
Because,
though,
damn it.
It probably would have been picked apart, so maybe it was just the hot boxing dude in gloves.
Here's the thing, though. You're going to make something up. All right, cool. You're going to make something up. you're not going to go back and say, "Hey, Mum, Dad, we saw a clown ghost robot with a karaoke machine, and he was pretty chill."
I'll teach you to make up stories.
Just like, if you're going to make up stories, make up
And
something
meanwhile,
less
there's probably
fucking
this poor
batshit.
adult who's like, I don't want to be on the sex offender list, so I'm
Yeah.
just not going to say anything.
How do we know how old the children were when they saw him?
Good point. Let me look that down.
Because maybe this was a scaly.
2 children
To bring it
known
back
as
to the furry
Faye and an
conversation.
unnamed boy.
Oh no! Somebody who dresses up as a clown is a funny.
Oh no!
I
that's
love how
horrible.
you have such strong segregating ideas for the furry community. Oh my god!
Let me
I'm
tell you,
gonna
if they ever
look.
hired me to run a convention, it'll run like clockwork.
Well, it doesn't say how. Oh, this is weird.
A
Sam-
character does not need to have fur to be a furry. A lizard or bird character that has all those features could also be a furry, although they may be called a scaly or an avian.
by other furries who were like, "Get out of our
Dear
space,
God, I've
Scaly."
looked this up. Pray for my search history. Pray for my advertising I am about to get.
All right. I cannot find the ages of these children, but apparently, Sam, or All Colors Sam, invited the children into his metallic self-made hut, where he spent 30
Getting back
minutes
to the
engaging
raging
with them.
boner again.
Inside the quaint 2-floor hut, the children notice aspects reflecting Sam's unconventional life, like his strange way of eating berries. We've had that. Oh no, this one says first inserting them into his ear, then transferring them to his mouth via his eye. The brief dialogue left the children with more questions than answers about who or what Sam truly was.
No kidding.
Yeah,
No kidding.
there are a lot of questions here.
I think it was a dude in a costume.
I think it was a dude in a costume. He was just built himself a little shack where he could be by himself, sing karaoke, and get high. Then some kids came along, and he had to sort of like, you had to come up with something, right?
Maybe his persona was an alien.
We've already stretched the limit of furry. I don't think we can have Space Ghost Robot Clown. And him
Apparently,
saying,
the
"I'm a
only
furry
rule,
too."
the only rule to being a furry is to like anthropomorphic animals and to call yourself a furry. Those are the only 2 rules. I just looked it up.
Sounds
Well,
like
I
some-
wanted
when
to
I'm
furry
running the
forest
convention,
and
there'll
I
be
put-
more rules.
Yeah, sounds like some hippie
You
bullshit to me.
gatekeeper, Rick.
Sounds like it needs a bit of corralling. Can't just turn up as a fucking space clown and go, "I'm a furry too." They'll rip you apart.
I was gonna
Apparently,
go to
they're
Guapiri
more
Con.
welcoming and all-encompassing than you two.
Well, the
clowns.
next
don't
furry
believe you.
convention in Boston, you show up as like a robot space clown and see what happens.
Oh my god! I am not going to the next furry convention.
Why not?
I don't
Oh,
even know.
you just
Because
said
you
that
know
they're
they'll
so
rip you
welcoming. Put
apart.
on your goddamn robot space clown costume.
As soon as they smell you're an imposter, that's it. You're dead.
I hate you all.
Well, we've met some weird things today. That was good. Angry woman with a cat. Possible lizard thing. Just horrible spider. There's
How do
plenty
we
of
know
them.
it wasn't the lizard thing dressed up as the alien robot
Well,
on the Isle of
We got
Wight?
angry
I think
woman
it
with a
was.
cat. Angry butterbee farmer holding an alligator. And just conventional horrible spider.
Angry French spiders.
And just a guy who wanted to be left alone to hang out in his costume in his tiny metal hut. But he immediately knew how bad that looked when 2 children walked in. So improvised. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it out there. The Sandown Space Clown ghost was just a guy who did not want to be accused of pedophilia.
And if you're still around and listening, we love you.
It's
Unless,
fine.
you're
Yeah.
really the lizard man, we still love you. We would just like you to stop wrecking people's cars.
They say, hey little boy, you want to put your berry into my ear?
Oh no!
I can move it with my eyeballs.
Oh god!
What?
Well, that's a much darker explanation, right? All right. Well, I hope everybody at home is suitably educated and prepared for the horrifying mutants that are even now traversing the globe.
And remember, the
apocalypse or
coconut
not.
crab is the current size limit of an arthropod terrestrial in our current atmosphere, so at least we have that.
But if you
That's
dress
not-
up as a humanoid coconut crab, you are not a furry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, the furries may indeed welcome you. Please, in the comments, help us out here and settle this argument.
I never thought I'd say this on the internet, but it sounds to me like the furries need to be a little bit more discerning.
Can't they just have love and acceptance?
I want to see
Can
them
we
like
have
fuck.
one
It's,
part of
you
the
know
world
something?
that
We're
doesn't
not
suck?
letting the fucking crabbies in anymore.
Draw the
Oh my
line
god,
at the
this furry
crabbies.
convention has crabs. There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, I guess they've been letting crabs in for quite a while.
Oh, oh god! Can you imagine if you got crabs in a full fur? Oh,
I can. I
I'm-
can just
I
imagine
really
it being very
try
itchy.
not to imagine stuff like that.
Can we go back to the French spiders?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
That's what fancy people call crabs. I got a dose of the old
French
French spiders.
Ooh la la.
Oh,
Hey, if you turn the Chicago Bulls logo upside down, it does look like a robot fucking a crab. So
a space
there's
robot
that.
clown fucking a crab.
maybe
if
that's
there's
where
anything,
it came from.
if there's anything that typified this podcast experience in an image, it's surely there.
It's surely a robot fucking a crab. But yes, if you want to turn the Chicago Bulls official logo upside down, and you too can see it.
Yeah,
I'm
please.
good.
Here you go. There's your homework, listener. And we'll,
It's that I already looked up the furry shit, so you don't have to. So enjoy that little.
and if you are listening to this on the Patreon, remember that this exclusive content is your reward for supporting us, and thank you very much for doing so. If we've put this out into the wild for some fucking reason, and you're watching on YouTube or listening to it on Spreaker, then this is an advertisement for you to join our Patreon, where you probably could listen to this months ago and been suitably educated. You've been walking around all this time not knowing about all this shit, space clown, angry woman with cat bullshit. I bet you feel like a right fucking chump. Go join the Patreon, man. Or
Find
cat
out
lady.
more about French spiders
Yeah.
Butterbeans.
and butterbean farmers with attitudes.
But,
And about Nick Succotash.
Succotash, still can't believe that's a real thing.
Hey,
Ludicrous.
kitty wampus is a real word, and succotash is a real food.
Yes.
What else do you need to know?
Oh, I don't want to know. That's enough for one podcast. Thank you. We'll see you next time on the
Where I'll
Mimic
tell you
Chest.
how whales sleep.
Oh, fucking hell.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.